Right, so we're back again. It's another quick update. I know I haven't done one in a while, but basically we've just been busy. So I'll update you now. Basically, not much changed. Besides, we installed some new cables for the inverters. These are 35mm cables, and they just basically pass through this panel. We're currently on. It is currently 6 o'clock at night, and we're putting in approximately an amp and a bit. Now just to verify that, you see 1.1 amps. Charge controller as usual. You see our battery voltage is now at 13.75. I'm dropping. I put the lights on, which are LED lights, which the LED lights here are pulling about 2.5 amps roughly. So as you can see, we've got our battery monitor there. Basically a battery monitor and a ANL fuse as well. Then we have our mains power coming in from the grid. So this is grid power, so that's 244 volts. So that's quite good. Now we've been installing these new LED lights, so I'll just get that up there. As you can see, they're LED, 3 spots. That's an LED as well, and then as you can see, that's the old halogen. So by comparison, they are quite bright. I mean, as you can see by the workbench, I mean there's enough light on this surface now to do work, even if I turn the LED lights off like so. You see, it's still bright enough to do work. No problem at all. They're the cold white LED lights that I am replacing. They look bright on the camera, but they're actually not very bright. I prefer the warm whites. So we'll put the lights back on just for the video, like. Basically, we still have our distribution board. We have quite a few circuits in there. You can see through the glass. You see, there's all our breakers. We've got lights. As you can see, there's our junction boxes for the solar, and then these are the disconnects for the solar. So we have a look under the workbench. We can see some of the wiring. This is basically temporary wire that's under here, so this is not the best example on how to wire it, but these are permanently wired. As you can see, we've got the big thick 25mm cables coming in. They go into a shunt. The shunt then goes off to the ammeter, and the ammeter then tells me the amount of current. Basically passes through to these bus bars here. These are main earthing terminals, and they can take about 5,000 amps through main earthing terminal. So the better buying them, I use them to split off to me loads and that. What's basically changed, we do have the fan. Let's put the light on 1 second. So there's our fan, and that goes through into the generator room. It's quite a big fan. It's a car radiator fan. It's out of Land Rover Discovery, and it pulls about 20 amps off the battery. But the generator, 20 amps at 12 volts is roughly about 240 watts, I believe. That's right, about 240 watts. So if we've got a generator putting out 3 kilowatt, then 240 watts for cooling's not too bad. And also, you're not meant to have generators indoors, but if you have sufficient coolant, then there's no reason why you can't. I was going to have a start-stop control system for the generator, but the generator I have is it's one of them ones with a choke, so you have to manually operate the choke. You can't just basically start it. So let's threw that out the window. I have to control the choke manually. Well, the whole idea was I could start and stop it remotely, so maybe invest in a new generator. For any of you who haven't seen, basically we have 3 isolators. This isolator here, if I switch that on, that would mean that we have power directly from the generator. If I switch this one on, we'd have it from the grid. So we pull our power from the grid, and if this one was on, we pull from the inverter, sorry. So as you can see, the middle one is on at the moment, which means we're on the grid. I have these padlocked off, so we can't switch 2 on at the same time, because if we did, we could have a rather nice explosion or a big bang. As you can see, that padlock's not locked, but I know, I still can't turn that anyway. Basically, we're doing a few repairs at the moment. This is what's called a DC to DC converter. If I flip this over, show you. This is the DC400. This converts 24 volts down to a 13.8. See? 40 amps as well, continuous. Well, 30 continuous, sorry. So, basically, the reason I've opened it up is I put this big lug on it, which is 25mm, thinking I'd have some big daddy cables going in. What's happened, I've tightened the washer up that tight because I've run a good connection on it. The actual little post where it connects onto is actually starting to turn, so I've had to undo it and hold it while I turn it to get the nut off, which I'm in the process of doing now. But while I've been looking inside, if I just flip that right way around, you can see the what I believe to be toroidals. This is 90% efficient, well, more than 90% efficient. Now, what intrigued me was this little thing here. See that little twist screw thing? It's white and blue. I believe they increase or decrease the voltages coming out. So that may be something you can play with to get precise voltages if you want. Say you don't want 1380, maybe you want 15, and then when as you use 30 amps load, it might drop down to 1380 to compensate for volt drop, basically. So that's what's going on. Inverter packed up. I found out what's happened to the inverter. It's over here, the inverter. This is the inside of a 1.5 kilowatt modified sine wave inverter. It cost me about £40 with delivery. Basically, I was doing a little experiment with converting the shed to 24 volts to see how it would run. And I accidentally put 24 volts through it, so it popped a capacitor. So I went out and bought a brand new capacitor, the same values, 25 volt, 3300 farads, I think microfarads actually, and I think I wasn't too sure on what way round these legs go, so I just kind of did it one way and thought, let's just hope it works. Turned out it was the wrong way, and that popped as well. So I'm going to have to get a new capacitor. Yeah, this is the old capacitor. It's the old one. It's got a round circular shape on it. And the new capacitor has a round circular shape as well. And it's the same value, it's just a bigger capacitor. So I presume it's a better capacitor. But yeah, it's blown, so I was thinking of either getting a new inverter. I mean, it says 1.5 kilowatt on it. I load tested it at about 700 watts and it was tripping out. So it's not brilliant. Cheap copies from Hong Kong as usual. So, mind you, that's eBay for you anyway. So I was thinking about going to the likes of Argos, which is a UK company, which build quite good stuff. I've had inverters before from Maplin's 500 watt, and they can give you 600. So you can, if you go to a good company, you can get what you pay for, basically. I was looking at a 700, either 7 or 800 watt inverter, when it was about £45. It was made by RAC, and the other one was made by, I think it was Silverline or Silver Tools or something like that it was. So I may invest in a new inverter rather than fix it, because I don't like the cheap nastiness of this thing. This is really, really cheap, nasty components in there, as shown by frigging blowing. Because it just says it says it has over voltage protection. Well, if you have over voltage protection, why is it blowing the capacitor? So you see what I mean. So rant over about cheap Chinese inverters. We'll get back to the main thing now of what the shed can produce and what we can actually do. So we can jump down here. We'll see these main batteries here. These are 255 amp hour car batteries. You see they're quite nice batteries. They do the job. Right, I believe the battery got cut off then, so we'll have to do another one now. So we'll have to add this on. So these are the two batteries. It's 55 amp hour batteries, as I said before, if you didn't quite get it. We've got 25mm cable connecting them, so that's quite interesting. Basically gives us 110 amp hours in total, and it runs underneath the shed, underneath the workbench, up, and it goes into some connectors at the back of this panel. And it splits off, basically. It splits off to a shunt, which is up here. And there's a few ammeters up here, basically that measure current and things, so it's quite interesting. We are going to be getting a new charge controller. I currently have 380 watts of solar power on my kitchen roof, which I'll show you in a minute. I currently have 380 watts, but yet I am getting no more than 10ish, maybe 12 at the maximum, at 12 volts. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research on this, and I found out this could be to do with these PWM charge controllers. Basically, they see the 24 volts, because these are 24 volt panels. They see the 24 volts, but they don't step down the current to according, with the voltage. It basically just sees that 24 volts, not cut it in half, but keeps the current at 24 volts. It doesn't convert it down to 12 volt. It just basically thinks, oh, 24 volt, right, that's 12 volt. It assumes that the voltage is 12 volts. So it's not the best inverter. Why do I keep saying inverter? Charge controller you can buy, but yeah, it's going to get replaced. I'm thinking about getting an MPPT, which basically you can put in 100 volts, and that will do all the calculations, so that'll calculate the current what it should be, and it'll do its maximum power point tracking as well, so it can do its efficiency shite and all that stuff it does with it. I don't know all about that, but yeah, it's clever shit. It's very clever. So yeah, I've got a DC to DC converter. I just bought this for about £50, 30 amp continuous. It's 24 volt to 12 volt. Now I was planning on doing the 24 volt solar panels to 12 volts, but even that didn't quite go to plan. So I don't want to convert to 24 volts because this ammeter will not take 24. This voltmeter will not take 24 volts. That won't take 24 volts. Either with the inverters. Most inverters are 12 volts. The lights up here 12 volts. So not much I can do. So that's basically it. So there's a look around the workshop anyway. As you can see, we've got a couple of practice things on the back of the door. And then we have our usual shit like drills and lawnmowers. Oh, we have a welder as well. So, a few bits and that. Oh yeah, we have a sign as well, in case no one read the sign. Basically no smoking, because the batteries give off ventilation. Well, they give off fucking gas, which needs venting out, should I say. So that's basically it. I'll try and get some pictures and some video of the solar panels and that soon, so we'll see how that goes. So for now, it is